ศูนย์ลาวศึกษาเป็นองค์การหรือสถาบันที่มีความสำคัญที่สุดต่อศาสนาการศึกษาประวัติศาสตร์วัฒนธรรมและการเป็นมาของชาวลาวตั้งแต่ดึกดำบรรพ์มาถึงปัจจุบันบ่ว่าจะอยู่ภายในหรือภายนอกแผ่นดินลาวข้าพเจ้าขอชวนเชิญทุกท่านไปเยี่ยมยามเว็บไซต์ของศูนย์ลาวศึกษาเพื่อจะได้มีโอกาสพบข้อมูลและค้นคว้าต่างๆที่เป็นน่าสนใจถ้าท่านผู้ใดยังบ่ทันได้เป็นสมาชิกของศูนย์ลาวศึกษาข้าพเจ้าขอเชิญติดต่อข้าพเจ้าหรือคณะบริหาร Ladies, gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends and associates. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Center for Lao Studies, the Board of Advisors, the Board of Directors, the members and the associates, it is a distinct honor and distinct privilege and my great pleasure to welcome you to the 4th International Conference on Lao Studies. Allow us and foremost to express our profound gratitude to the University of Wisconsin for graciously hosting this year. We are equally and deeply indebted to the two co-chairs, Dr. Ian Baird and Dr. Vinyasi Samut, who had been working diligently on the planning for almost a year. Without their hard work, their patience, and their perseverance, we would not see the show of force, the participation, and the celebration that we see today. Enjoy the meeting. Enjoy meeting and discovering new things, new friends. Have a pleasant, productive, and exciting 2.5 days of the conference. In this auspicious occasion of the Lao New Year celebration, we wish you a Sabadi Pimai. May you enjoy physical comfort, Sukai, good health, great wealth, and peace of mind throughout the year. Sabadi.
I now have the honor to invite a former senator from Laos from before 1975 and a very important person in the Hmong community here in the United States and a personal friend of mine, Dr. Yang Dao. Please, Dr. Yang Dao, come and give us some opening remarks.
Honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to be here with all of you today. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to Professor Ian Beard, the co-chair of the 4th International Conference on Lao Studies, for inviting me to attend this wonderful event which takes place in this prestigious University of Wisconsin, Madison. I am very delighted to meet many old acquaintances, especially the young generations of Lao, Khmu, Hmong, Theram, Yumen, etc., who had left Laos very young after the Second War of Laos in 1961 to 1975, or who were born in Europe, Australia, Canada, or in the United States of America, are progressively losing their native languages. ข้าพเจ้าถือว่ากองประชุมครั้งนี้เป็นกองประชุมประวัติการอันยิ่งใหญ่หลังจาก38 ปีที่พวกเขาได้พัดปากบ้านเกิดเมืองนอนมาเป็นกำพร้าบ้านเมืองอยู่ต่างประเทศถึงว่าพวกเขาผู้ใดจะเกิดเป็นชนเผ่าลาวชนเผ่าขมุชนเผ่าเมียนชนเผ่าไทยดำหรือว่าชนเผ่ามงที่ว่าพวกเขาทุกคนก็เป็นเชื้อชาติลาวโดยกันทั้งเผ่าเพื่อให้ลูกให้หลานได้สืบต่อเพื่อรักษาความเป็นชาติลาวไปยังบ่มีวันสุดเลยสุดท้ายนี้ข้าพเจ้าขอดวงวิญญาณของปู่ย่าตายายของชาวลาวบรรดาเผ่าของพวกเขา จงลงมาปกปักรักษาเสื้อชาติลาวเฮาอยู่ต่างประเทศจงมีสุขภาพเข้มแข็งมีความฮักแพงซึ่งกันและกันและมีความสามัคคีชาติเพื่อร่วมกันสร้างชีวิตใหม่ให้อุดมสมบูรณ์อยู่ต่างประเทศและฟื้นฟูความสามัคคีชาติระหว่างญาติพี่น้องลาวบรรณเผ่าภายในประเทศและอยู่ต่างประเทศไปสู่ความเจริญรุ่งเรืองขอขอบใจทุกคนที่ให้โอกาส
Introduce our next speaker, who is a great friend of Lao Studies, both here at Madison, Wisconsin, and also more broadly. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Carol Compton to give us her opening comments.
ข้าพเจ้ามีความยินดีต้อนรับพวกท่านทั้งหลายทุกท่านทุกอาจารย์ที่ได้มาร่วมมือช่วยให้ประชุมนี้มีผลขอให้ผู้ฟังทั้งหลายได้หาความรู้ใหม่ๆที่นักค้นคว้าเฮาสอบเอาได้ขอเชิญพวกท่านฟังประวัติหน่อย In English, of course. Welcome to all of you. It's a great pleasure to have many people from many groups, teachers, students, researchers from all over the world actually join with us today. I want to tell you a little bit of history about this week because not only is it PYle, to which I wish you all a Happy New Year, but exactly this week, 40 years ago today, in Luang Prabang, the first conference that I know about on Lao Studies took place. It was called together by a Lao and an Englishman. And at the conference, there were English, French, Lao, Italian, Americans. I forgot to look up how many countries. But there were only about can study and continue to study and maintain and grow in the languages, the many, many languages of this diverse area is so important. And I hope that all of you will be ambassadors for language as you go out and about your work. Thank you all for coming today. I hope you have a wonderful time at this conference.
Last opening speaker, John Hartman, but for some reason he hasn't arrived. So I'm not sure why that is, but he's not here. So I guess we'll, just before we go into the break, I just want to let people know that I've just been informed that at 1 p.m. today, there will be a tornado drill in this building. But I've been told that from the PYle Center that we don't have to do anything when you hear the alarm bells going off and it says it's a tornado happening. Just ignore it. Okay, don't worry about it. It's fine. But if I didn't tell you, you'd all be running for the exits, thinking a tornado was arriving. But it's not. I don't think there'll be a tornado. So it's just a mock drill. So you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to have a little bit longer break than we would have had, and we'll be at 10:40. We'll be coming back to this room for the keynote speech by Yves Gougnot, and so I'll invite you all to come back. So for your break refreshments, please go down to the first floor behind the registration. That's where we have coffee and some snacks and things like that. Okay, thank you.
Friends he made here. Who is Sombat? I would first like to quote in part from the citation presented to Sombat when he was awarded the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for Community Leadership in 2005. The small landlocked nation of Laos is one of the world's poorest. Not so long ago, wars and revolution drained away many of its educated people. Even now, 30 years after the establishment of the Lao People's Democratic Republic in 1975, infrastructure, industry, and public services remain rudimentary. More than half of the country's population is under 20. For these 3 million young people, there are few opportunities. Social problems are on the rise, and many look for better lives abroad. Yet these young people are the country's best hope, says Sombat Somphon. As Executive Director of the Participatory Development Training Center, PDAC, always when I stayed on the banks of the Mekong River. Much can be said about what made Sombat such a key influential figure. Several points stand out. Sombat was in the U.S. studying on a scholarship at the University of Hawaii at the time of the change of government in 1975. He could have taken the easy path and stayed in the U.S. But inspired by a commitment to help in the development of his country, he chose instead to return home. Almost no other Lao students in the U.S. at that time took this risk.
For this invitation and for allowing me, arriving directly from Laos, to discover and appreciate springtime in Wisconsin. The title of this keynote speech, The Invention of a Multi-Ethnic Heritage in Laos, expresses a real difficulty: how to assert a national culture, and within this national culture, what place should be given to different specific ethnicities. Actually, we know that... Can you hear me at the back? Yeah. Actually, we know that almost every country in the world today faces such an issue, and that there are choices to be made in terms of management of a multi-ethnic society. But according to the different choices made, the issue may become an asset or may become, I would say, an even bigger issue. And some countries accept to have a public debate on it, whilst others implement coercive policies that are supposed not to be discussed. Here, for instance, in the United States, there has been a long tradition of integrating cultural differences, but also a great tradition of reflecting on issues of ethnicity. And I take the opportunity of being here in Madison to pay tribute to the neighboring Chicago School of Sociology, which was one of the first in the world to study the problems of ethnicity and inter-ethnic relations, and to question the success of the so-called melting pot. Yet speaking of the invention of the social or the cultural is nothing new. There are today countless books, articles, or projects beginning with the title The Invention of, The Making of, The Fabric of, etc., or that use the present participle, emerging identities, imagining communities, creating societies, etc. Okay. The population in the region of Upper Sekong, among which I lived, all belonged to the Austroasiatic or Mon-Khmer stock. There were Thai, Katong, Paco on the right bank, and Alak, Nye, and Katu on the left bank. They all spoke languages from the same Katuic family and formed a sort of cultural continuum. Traditional life, with its intense ritual activity, seemed to have started up again at the end of the conflicts. In some way, the Paco villages were made of 2 or 3 magnificent longhouses, each one housing sometimes as many as 100 people. In Kalum, the Nye or Katu villages were circular, with a communal house in the center.
Okay, I'm from Khon Kaen University. We have a new Hall Lak Moon 2 in Khon Kaen 4 or 5 years ago, similar in design, but smaller. It was portrayed as a symbolic action uniting the town. But underlying it, of course, are superstitious beliefs and practices which are not good customs. Does the Lao state not recognize that in putting up these things, they may be actually encouraging bad customs and superstitious beliefs? Or is there, that just does not exist?
Well,
they're able to reconcile?
Actually, I would say that they are not anticipating, but customs. But what I try to say is that you never know. I mean, what use will be made by the people, you know. And it's like the statues. I see the statues here. So you have the 4 statues, the 4 corners of Vientiane, 4 statues.